Hello, it's me, your boy Cryptid. We have a video by Gacha Smack. He has some very good opinions, a very well respected figure in the Gacha community, and he has some opinions about Cantarella, whether they're good, whether they're bad. It does say Cantarella on the thumbnail, so I don't know if he is saying anything negative or if he's defending the character, but I want to know what he is saying. I want to pick his brain just to see if maybe there's some reason we shouldn't pull for the character or not. Who knows? Let's get straight into it and see what he has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. Apparently, a clip of me is on Twitter, currently at 500,000 views, about me talking about Cantarella's insane boobs. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually me talking about how fast she's swimming in the water. I like how they integrated her swimming into her Kit's Forte circuit.
I like for her the swimming. I understand some people are gonna scream and cry, oh, movement power creep, this, that, and the other. Guys, we can fly. Swimming really isn't that big of a deal, honestly. Like who's swimming? And no matter how much you may dislike the fact that there's movement power creep, it like I said, it really doesn't matter because we already can we can glide, we can fly. Flying is not only faster, but you can do it anywhere as long as you get off the ground. Now she can pop out of the water and hover and then start the flying there. But arguably, you could just kind of like grapple, jump into the sky, and do the same thing. So, yeah, power creep movement wise, but it really doesn't matter, honestly, because it's nothing like, oh, I can't do this one thing that I want to do because I didn't spend money on the character. You can still do the same thing. It's just, ooh, she can swim because she's a jellyfish lady and it charges her forte. It's just a nice little aspect. It's nothing too serious. So people who are getting their panties in the wad really need to pick it out of their ass and man up, honestly.
To flight mode. It's a bit of a paywall behind QOL exploration, and it's exclusive to this character. And in this clip, I pretty much like kind of loosely go over it. I'm actually tipsy, to be honest, and I'm in the middle of a live stream, hype is having a good time with my chat. And this is probably the dangers of the internet that people need to always carefully consider, especially content creators, doubly so, to always be aware of what you're saying. Carefully curate your words, because people can take them, upload them, and then take you out of context and so on and so forth. Now,
Who cares if people want to be people want to be losers like that and try and take your words out of context and make you look bad? Uh, 2% of people are actually going to care. The rest aren't really going to care because they're either watch your live stream or they like you enough to not care if you like or dislike a character, or if you say one slightly bad take against the company. People really need to get over themselves.
I want to be clear here. No smoke is being blown up my ass about this. Really, literally none, actually. But it has gained some traction, and I don't really like the idea of something I said I wasn't intending to go past my own community being weaponized, because I do have a lot of apparently weight to my words in this community. Like, people, if I say some stuff, people are gonna go and chirp it or use it as a representation of the gold standard of things and
That
shit.
is
It's
true.
insane and it's kind of annoying. But
That is
yeah,
true.
I saw this and I was like, okay, so, and I didn't know, by the way, it was 2 days ago. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and set the record here and share my full opinion, not an opinion of a clip in the middle of a live stream where I'm not able to really like go in on the substance of it. And so I did on Twitter here. We're sitting here looking at this post, which is, by the way, D'Anthony Potts, if you're watching this video, I'm very well aware that you're a viewer of mine. You have been for a while. You're a viewer of Tech Tones, and you're a cool guy. I am not in any capacity making this video to like throw pot shots at you. In fact, I find it kind of hilarious. You said I want to sow a bit of chaos. Well, you sowed a bit of chaos here, bro. It's fucking hilarious, man. But I responded to it after it was brought to my attention. And I said, apparently, this clip of me is being used to represent people's discontent with paywalls of exploration. I had no earthly clue either. And I put a laughing emoji. I said, my opinion on it. I never support any form of exclusive exploration QOL being given to a character in a gacha game. And we'll elaborate on that in a bit. That said, so long as flight exists, it really ain't that deep. In Wuthering Waves, y'all need to relax.
Exactly what I said. We already have something better. Like, yeah, it's QOL a paywall, but it's such a lesser form that it doesn't even affect anything. It's not like you can dive into the water and then go onto land and fucking swim through the water like a dolphin or something. It's literally just in the water. You go a little bit faster than I think the gondola. And even then it really depends. It really doesn't matter. Flight is so much better that as long as they don't do anything that outclasses flight or take away flight, it it's just a neat little function. She's just a little bit quirky, is all. It's not a big deal whatsoever. I'm
Now,
glad he agrees
if
with
they
me.
had a whole ass water region, then oof.
Yeah, if they add a whole water region where you cannot use your flight, then we have some problems, obviously. But I don't see them doing that anytime soon. And if they did, there'd be huge uproar.
Well, all of a sudden that QOL that's minuscule right now becomes paramount.
Yeah.
But that's something worth exploring and talking about in this video as well. So here's the thing, guys. I see both sides of the equation. On one end of the spectrum, I see where people are going, guys, can we relax? It's the smallest
It's just a
kind
game.
of power creep and exploration. Why are y'all like making such a big deal out of this? I do get that. That's why I said you guys need to relax. But on the other end of the spectrum, guys, should you be faulting people? Should you be defending against people being mad at this in a gacha game? First of all, let's go ahead and make sure we assess that this is in fact
listening.
a gacha game, the
It
worst
is.
genre
I
in
can
the
confirm.
industry, the most predatory, FOMO-induced genre in the industry. Can we at least acknowledge that these prices are fucking egregious? Right? That's why it's a problem. Can we at least go over the problems of why people have a right to be upset about any, I don't give a damn how much of a small little baby step they've taken towards this exploration power creep. Drawing a line, there's a reason for that, right? You got a friend and he's flirting with your girl and you don't draw a line. Well, then you might catch him grabbing your girl's ass. You don't draw a line, you might catch him in the bed. Right? There's lines have to be drawn to set certain barriers and structures and limitations so that things don't get out of fucking hand. So when you see these prices in this shop, nobody bats an eye. Nobody says anything about this because your brain's cooked. It's been normalized already. And you accept the fact that these prices are, well, they're okay now. And they're not okay. In fact, if you took this price and cut it in half,
They're okay if you spend no money on the game. You don't have to worry about it. I feel like, my personal opinion, the first top up bonus that they have, where it's like double whatever you get, this would be like 6480 plus 6480 as a bonus. If that was stayed that way, if everything was doubled, I would be okay with it. Honestly, I feel like that is a fair amount of pools to be getting for $100. Is double 6480. That being said, they're not going to be doing that, and it is honestly disgusting that they have taken up the same pay model, because I guarantee you people will be throwing a lot more money at this game if they were just a little bit more generous on what you got for that money. But it is what it is. Gacha games, you can't really support them. For this part. Now, the content they put out is beautiful, amazing even. It's just this specific section is just too much for me. Sorry, burping.
it'd still be too fucking expensive. But that's a conversation for another day. It's okay for people to be mad if we bring up this and we see that, oh, I'm not guaranteed to win this guy. There's only a 50-50 chance to win this character. And
Yeah.
then you look at the banner and you say, oh, he's got his weapon in his hand. But if when I acquire him, he's not going to have that weapon. No. So you might as well take that weapon off of this as a promotion and put a fucking dual blade right there because he doesn't come with anything. It's a problem when you see that they're selling the weapon as well with those prices in the shop. It's a problem when you realize the resource acquisition isn't enough to secure one of these characters in a patch. You guys have to understand that it's a slippery fucking slope in the gacha space in particular because of all the garbage that already exists inside of these games that we have enabled as consumers. And so if somebody wants to blow smoke up Kudo's ass and say, hey, motherfucker, y'all already got too many things going on in this game that are predatory, that are FOMO induced, that are insanely greedy in terms of monetary incentives. I don't give a damn if it's a micro step. It's a micro step in the wrong direction, and we've already gone 10 steps past the wrong direction.
I 100% agree. People are gonna defend it and say, well, Kuro Games has one of the more generous kind of systems. You don't have a 50-50 on the weapon banner. They are pretty generous. Now, a lot of people that will say it's pretty generous will have pools that they acquired at the beginning because they threw a crap ton of pools. I still have a bunch of pools because I don't pull on every single character. That being said, I'm still with the characters I do want. I'm still getting lower and lower each patch or every time I pull on a character because it is slowly falling behind what I need. If I lose a 50-50 or if, say, Brant came out, he didn't need the weapon, but it made everything so much easier to build because the weapon had like 77 energy regen on it. That's a lot of pulls, even with the uh pools that they give you that you can buy in the shop with free currency or anything like that. It still feels like so much. So if you want a character and the weapon to make the character feel good because you like the character, it starts piling up. So it, it's just little steps, but every little step you take in the wrong direction, it's just going to make the game feel worse and worse when it started in a good middle ground. Had some bad things, some good things. But we are getting quality of life changes, but in the same time, they're just sneaking in. Oh, she swims faster. What's the next character going to be? She hovers and glides and does all this stuff, and then we're going to take away flying in the next area. If they start taking away quality of life movement, like flying, or say the next area we don't get gondolas, so but they make us get to different areas because we don't have flying and we can only swim, that's going to be super tedious. And the people who don't have this character are going to be super mad. It just really depends on how they move forward, but I get what he's saying. Every small step just means something worse is coming along the way.
You see, there's a saying out there, to take, the journey upon taking 1,000 miles begins with a singular step. A singular step repeated over and over can eventually amount to 1,000 miles. Now, in some regards, you can take that as a positive philosophy, but in other regards, you can take it as a negative philosophy. I say this all the time, but if you want to take over the world, or if you want to change a company in a direction that you think people may not agree with, well, you just do it one micro step at a time, and then they won't notice that the change has already occurred, and they won't notice they're already in deep fucking waters. You have to be careful, guys, with these small steps being taken, because they are indeed slippery slopes that can eventually turn the game into a direction that's unhealthy. And so I have zero problem for smoke being blown up their ass about this, because guess what? Bare minimum, the smoke being blown up their ass could cause them to give everybody these swimming capabilities. And now, guess what? Everybody's swimming fast, and everybody's getting out of the fucking water with a heavy attack and flying into the air. It doesn't matter, okay?
But you got to remember, if they do start doing that, Now, a great man once said this: "When everybody's super, no one is." Uh so if every character starts behaving the same way, every character has the same kind of passes, every character has the same kind of move sets. If we start dumbing it down further and further, that every character is the same, what's the point of pulling for new characters? It stifles innovation. Now, I understand maybe the swimming bit is a little off, but I've she's not going super fast. They just do little things like that to give a little bit more personality. As long as it doesn't overpower flight, I think it's fine.
That it's insignificant. I've seen you
It's still stepping towards a bad direction, but as long as they stay beyond a certain line, I think it'll be fine. As long as they take one step this way, one step that way, if they do something good to make up for that little bit of a weird step, and they don't step over a certain boundary, I think it is completely okay.
I've seen you guys thought process. Who's swimming? We have flight. I have the same exact thought processes, guys.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter when you realize all the things that already exist, okay? And that's important to establish. I'm not here to really defend something so insignificant. I'm here to bring awareness to you guys not turning into the fucking Genshin community. Do not turn into the Genshin community where you're sitting here
Yeah, the second we go over to the Genshin community, we are completely done. The fact that we're not a bunch of rabid animals really attests to how much brain cells we have compared to them.
raising at the end of the day a gotcha company whose singular goal is to make a bunch of goddamn money. Okay, that's important. I want to make sure we're understood, we're on the same page. Now, I did see Tectone literally tagged me in this upload right here, and his opinion was one of the opinions I actually respected, which I'm happy about. I don't feel like hopping in a fucking call with Tech, but what I liked about what he said here is he acknowledged, first of all, that flight needs to exist in the other regions to ensure that this doesn't escalate.
They also need to bring flight to 1.0 because the fact that you cannot fly there makes no one want to go there ever. It just feels so boring, so lackluster once you spend enough time in 2.0. They really need the next update. They need to throw the flying into 1.0. I mean, really, what could be stopping them from doing that?
But he also acknowledged that he had zero problems with people having an issue with this because Tech understands the slippery slope. And that's important to grasp here, guys. And he also acknowledged that he don't give a fuck about it. He loves the game, and that's not something that personally is going to deter him from playing it. You know what?
Yeah.
That's okay too. But what's not okay is people going, "Hey, you're not allowed to draw a line in this already predatory practice." That's not okay, man.
That's a bit
It's really
much.
not. The last thing I want to mention is that I was a bit irresponsible on stream, getting tipsy in an event that's significant as a live stream. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be drinking, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I make zero excuses. One thing about me is I'm actually very responsible.
Nah, be real, man. You can drink whenever you want. You're a grown ass adult. If you want to drink during your live stream, drink during your live stream. You don't need to be that kind of responsible. I understand you're a figurehead of the community. Let's be real. You're just a dude. If you want to hang out, have fun, drink on stream, hang out with your chatters, and not really have to worry about it, you have that opportunity, man. You can relax. You don't need to police yourself constantly. Don't let these people shake you down like that.
With how I handle my alcohol, and so I'm fully cognitive and of the things that I'm saying. Honestly, it was really more so of I was hyped the hell up and having a good time with my community. And once again,
Exactly. You
I
don't
didn't
need to
even
feel
expect
guilty
this to
about that.
blow up the way it did, because that is at the end of the day a pretty small problem, you know. This is the last thing I want to talk to you guys about. There's a guy down here that just put something 39 minutes ago. Flight doesn't exist in Wuwa. It exists in locked regions. Although this is a bit extreme, technically it's true right now
Yeah,
until
that
they
is
add it to the other regions.
it. It is just locked to to one region. He's not wrong. He is definitely not wrong in any regard.
It's true, right? And we've given the feedback numerous times in their little surveys. So they have yet to address it. So, hey, man, it is true. If it actually was in the game, then it would still matter. However, just like the cast global passive, slippery slope, this is also a slippery slope. When do we get the unit that makes flight combat capable? Wait, we have it. When do we get a unit that makes flight faster and have more duration? When do we get game content that these movement mechanics trivialize while everyone has to do the Olympic Games? Wait, she does that already. We're just gonna ignore reality until it's too late again, like HSR. Once again, I understand if anybody's reading that, like, okay, this guy needs to relax, right? He's PTSD.
No, he has some very valid points. I personally didn't know about the flight stamina increase uh until I got the character, but he's making very valid points, and with how HSR is right now, sorry, it makes a lot of sense. This man is completely valid in his as an opinion, and more people need to think like this. It's just 50-50. It really just depends on how they take the next step forward. Because this one thing, if it's isolated, completely fine. Makes no reason to really worry about it. But if it keeps snowballing and gets worse and worse and worse, then it becomes a problem. But we want to make sure it doesn't become a problem now. It just there's so many things to consider. Because, like I said, isolated, perfectly fine. I just hope Kuro doesn't get out of hand with it.
From Hoyo. Fellas, you have to acknowledge though that Kudo Games smells Hoyo's asshole all the time. They do. So many of the elements that exist in their games are derivative from Hoyo. And so it's fair concerns. And there's no reason for you guys to defend a billion-dollar gacha company at this point, like it's your fucking girlfriend. These are consumers defending consumer experiences, and there's nothing wrong with that. Never, ever, ever should you find yourself on the other side of the fence. If you do, you are a fucking shill. Key here is in a gacha game. It's a fine line. I love units having different movement options. It makes the game better, but being that there's money involved, it makes things a bit weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
Gacha game. Okay, $100 price point in the top-up shot. I don't like gacha monetization, but more importantly, I want the game to be fun. So now there's a lot of people that can broad stroke this shit as, well, you're inside of a gacha game, there's gonna be gacha stuff. Too broad of a stroke. That's why I said there has to be lines drawn. True, you got to expect monetary incentives inside of a
Yeah, just because you're in a gacha game doesn't mean every little thing you do has to cost money. It's just as simple as that.
gacha game, but to what extent? Finally, Smack cleared the air. I guarantee that people who think this is equal to what Genshin is doing, especially in Natlin, don't even play the game and just want to stir up controversy. You know what? I'm sure there's a lot of little shit stirs in there too, just looking to hop on the woo-wah train and shit back. And that's why I also get, maybe I should address that. I understand you guys' defense as well, because you've been dealing with these dipshits since the launch of Wuthering Waves. And so you know what? I acknowledge why you get defensive, because you're enjoying a game that you've become a fan of, and you got these other people who are looking at any singular opening to get in there and be like, haha, woo-wah sucks. Fair. 100% agree it's there, but it's no big deal. Flight is infinitely better in Renacita. For 1.0, I don't know. Hopefully they implement it soon. But see, keyword, it's better in Renacita. But will it be better in the next region? What if the next region is a water region? I almost forgot about that. So what if the next region is a region where you're pretty much fighting inside of the water, or like majority of the traversal?
Yeah, if we for some reason we just go underwater and we start fighting in the ocean like the Little Mermaid and shit, uh there's definitely going to be issues. Especially if they don't release more characters with the same kind of swimming mechanic. If it's just Cantarella, people are going to be pissed. But I would say if they release maybe like 2, 3 other characters that can swim, doesn't have to exactly be able to swim and hover like she does, but if they can swim and do something else but still swim, I'll give them a pass. I'll give them a leeway. If they release a couple different other characters where it's not just a singular character that can do this one thing. That's my leeway on it.
is inside of the water and flight doesn't exist. Ooh. Now, you guys are giving Kudo the benefit
But if they ever get rid of flight, that's a huge L.
the doubt because they've been cooking better than Hoyo has been cooking. But that doesn't mean that Kudo is all of a sudden not a gacha company, right? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now, but I hope, and then, you know what? I don't even have to read anymore. We can end it off with this. You guys
really
are
just
already
depends on the
thinking, oh,
future.
they'll just give us a gadget to 1-to-1 how fast she's swimming. Oh, they'll do the right thing. I told y'all before, never, ever trust a fucking gacha company. However, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. All that I ask from you is that if they don't do it, you better not turn into a little bitch and not hold yourself accountable. If they don't do it. If they do it, we all have to get on this internet and say, hell Kudo Games. Hell Kudo Games.
Nah.
All right, man, that's going to wrap it up, boys. Thanks for watching.
He has very good opinions. I'm a little bit on both sides. If you couldn't tell during the video, I'm a little bit on both sides. I'm dropping some stuff. Don't worry about me. I am fine. Just dropping my little glass Gengar. But I think that is completely fine that they're adding exploration. They need to do one of two things. They either need to add the gadget, like he said, so it makes everybody equal, or they need to add a 2 to 3, maybe even 4, depends. Characters that can do somewhat of the same thing. As long as they don't limit this to one character and then have all these other characters do all these different things, and then you combine them together and then you can move around the world, as long as they don't do something like that, I think it's fine. It just really depends on their next steps, because I think they're still trudging on the good side of the line. It's nothing too egregious. It's just swimming. No one swims anyway. I know that was a point brought up, but nobody swims anyway. We fly everywhere. Flying is infinitely better than swimming. But if they take the flight away, so if it's not in Renacita, or if it's only in Renacita and we get a next area, and the next area doesn't allow for flying, but it's a brand new mechanic of you need to swim, but you can only be on this gondola that's really slow and hard to turn, and this, that, and the other. But hey, if you have Cantarella, here. If you have Cantarella, you can do everything 3 times as fast and have more maneuverability. It really just depends. Let me know what you guys think down below. I am still on the fence. I think it's still good just the way it is, because it's not too bad. But let me know what you guys think. If you think they're on a slippery slope to go down a bad road, or if you think they're still doing the good thing. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'm going to leave this video down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give him a like and subscribe to him, because he has fantastic content. And give me a like and subscribe too. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Peace.